My goodness, I am so elated to have my guests with me today. You have no idea. I could cry in this moment, but it's not going to happen. Welcome to Diamond in the Ruff. I'm your host, Karen Walker. I'm so very excited to have a childhood friend of mine who is a 31-year licensed cosmetologist to come and speak to me about her experiences, that is, on television and movie sets. Please welcome Shellie Biviens.
Hello all. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud of you, girl.
Thank you so much. I'm proud of you. My goodness. How long has it been for us?
Well, I heard you say earlier 30 years.
30 years. 30. We've talked on occasion,
but
right?
Like literally like to see each other in person, 30 years. Since we were like kids on the block on East Spring Avenue.
Hey, on the block. So, what I'd like to do is talk to you first and foremost, before I forget, about how when we lived in Ardmore, we didn't have resources such as this.
No.
With your background in the television and movie industry, public broadcasting organizations like Philly Cam or Brick in New York, we were suburbanites, right?
Yep.
So we would often come into the city to kind of hang out.
Yep, because nothing was going on.
Right. So as we got older, you ventured off, and where did you go?
Well, the first thing I did is I left Ardmore and I went to Center City.
Okay.
I lived there for a little while. I loved it, and I was doing hair, Chestnut Street, Asia PhD, shout out, is scientific, yes. So yeah, I started out with them, and then I decided, literally my boyfriend was like, I'm going to New York, you want to come? And I was like, all right. And the rest is kind of history, really. Like I can't even lie, I just met the right people.
Okay.
I listened to my mentors and I did what they said, and I ended up getting a job on a TV show that we all were watching growing up, all my children.
Okay.
So that was my first film job.
Okay.
But before that happened, like I said, I worked at Asia and Q Sampson Street Salon. I learned a lot from those hairstylists.
Okay.
Shout out to John Jones from Asia. He passed away a couple years ago, and he also ended up on being in film and television, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other on set, and he was like, ain't you from Philly?
Wow.
Who you? Oh my God,
Wow.
So like Philly, like we're everywhere.
Yeah.
We were doing big things, and Philly is a great city, and I'm really happy to be back here.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
I want to revert back to our youthful years. Okay, and I'm going to check you
Youthful
right now. Okay, had I known that you were a hairstylist or you were, pressing our friend's hair or doing hair, at that point, I would have just walked across the street.
Well, like I really never thought I would do hair. I did not think I did.
Really?
It just was a matter of like, you either go to college or do something. My mom was like, you're going to college. And like at the 11th hour, I was like, I'm going to be a hairdresser. I don't want to go to school. Like, I just felt like I would not do good at that.
Well, college is not for everyone.
It would not have been
And it
for
doesn't
me.
necessarily mean that if you do go, or you don't go, I should say, that you won't be successful.
Right. I'm just like that artistic person, that short attention span person, that abstract person that's all over the place. Like I'm always doing like so many different things at one time. So like I couldn't focus. I was like, I'm not going to be good at this. And I'm so glad that I went to cosmetology school. Like I really didn't think I would have a career doing it. It was just really by chance and just destiny, God, whatever you want to call it. But it shocks me to this day because I really didn't think I would ever have a career. And when I was in school, I literally hated it. And
really,
because I just felt like I felt like, I just felt like I wouldn't be good at it. And then my teacher was like, no, you're good at this. Like, it's like she saw something in me that I wasn't feeling. It's like we feel like we're not good at something because we have all these negative things in our mind that I don't even know where they come from.
Yeah, sometimes we can be the worst critics of ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah. And she was telling me, no, you're a good hairstylist. I see like a gift. And I'm thinking, this lady's nuts. And I always wish that I could find that lady to show her what I did with my life as a hairstylist because she was right.
Yeah.
So
congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me take a look at my notes. Not at the age of 9 years old, right? You were pressing your grandmother's hair.
Yes.
Okay.
She taught me.
Miss Maddie, she was a sweetheart. My goodness, God bless her and your grandpa.
They're amazing.
Yep.
They were great. I really appreciate them. And she trusted me, and she would show me how to press her hair on the stove. You know, take the the metal thing off, and you put the iron straight on the flame. And I was doing her hair. You know, and then like my grandfather's like niece or aunt or something, she had a hair salon, so I kind of was like exposed to it all the time. But I never thought I would do that.
Okay.
And
look at you today.
I'm still kind of shocked, like I never would thought, but it was just so funny because like people trusted me and saw something in me that I just never thought was there. I mean, now as a hairstylist, like I feel like that was my gift, you know, and talking a lot was the other gift.
You are so funny. Oh my gosh. You've earned a lot of respect from your peers. Right, in the industry.
I don't know, 'cause I know a lot of people probably out there don't really like me, but look where I'm at. How you like that? Right? Okay, how they like us now? Because we on TV. What? We at the studio, girl.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay. So as a licensed cosmetologist, you were the head cosmetologist for some of the television
I started
shows
becoming department head, I'd say like in the last 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Before that, I was like a key, which a key is like, really a key is like an assistant to a department head, but you're a key, you're like that point person for the department. So you kind of pick up all the slack of the department head and, you know, whatever other team members, you make sure everything runs smooth. I actually think being a key is harder than being in charge of everything.
Really?
Department head, yeah.
In what fashion?
Because I feel like as department head, you can just say, tell your key to go do it, or tell another person to go do it, or whatever. But when you're key, somebody's telling you what to do, and they are delegating all these things to you. So you kind of have to juggle everything.
Okay.
You know, so.
Okay.
But I like being department head because I like the creative process, and I like being on a team. I love being on a team. Working with the producers and the props department and the costumes department, and you know, it's just fun to watch. You know, from getting a script of words to see how everybody does their part to bring it to life. That's what I like. Right.
I often associate event and media production to having a blank canvas, right? And then as being the creative, as you said, you're just bringing this all to life, you know, and it's a very simple process. It just takes a lot of time.
It does.
And dedication, and you have to be very committed to it, and then have the right staff. And I have to say that I'm so grateful.
Ding, ding, ding. The right crew is everything, ladies and gentlemen, because I will say this: if you have one person on a team that's crazy, or disrespectful, or not good, it ruins everything. So I just learned to like, and sometimes it's like they slip through the cracks.
Right.
You get like a jerk that slips through the cracks.
Yeah.
But if you don't have them, it's amazing. And if you have a good team, you'll do big things. As long as you just don't give up, and as long as you stay together and you keep motivating each other.
That's right.
And keep creating, and just what I feel too is like taking everybody's ideas. It's like, it's not just like me. Like my assistant, we do everything together. I'm always like, girl, like, you know, what about this? What about that? Or she'll be like, girl, that doesn't look right. Do that over, whatever. So it's like, I'm not offended because she says, oh, look at that. That doesn't look right. Or look in the monitor, her hair's sticking up, you know. Where some people will get offended. I appreciate that because at the end of the day, it's like we take the glory or we take the worst part of it as a team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Chemistry is really important.
Very.
On set.
I can say firsthand that we've had lots of times where you have a team member that's just negative.
Okay. And
I just feel like when it comes to creating, as long as everybody's positive, you're going to put out something great. Okay. And I'm a big person on serendipity. When I studied photography, and like the first day. I
had no idea.
The first day he said to me that serendipity is everything to photographer, what was the word to use? Perfectionist is the worst for an artist because you're blocking your creative vibes and energy and stuff like that. So I just always thought about that. And like sometimes the biggest mistake that you think is wrong, it's right. Right. Like some people fear like, oh, I'm too shy or whatever, but it may be endearing. Okay. You know, just don't think negatively of anything that's being done if you have good vibes. Worry when it's bad vibes.
Right, right. Exactly. I love it. So when you left home, again, that's Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
131 East Spring Avenue. Go see my house I grew up in. I don't live there anymore, so, you know, hopefully the people that live there don't get mad. But
it was a great block.
Yep, it was. And when I come here, I always ride by there. Yep. I was telling my son today, we're obsessed with that show, Stranger Things, and he loved how like the kids rode their bikes on the block, and they, you know, they would just be out all day. Like there's no parents in this movie. Like, you know, the kids are just always out riding their bikes doing. And I said I had that childhood. Like I totally grew up like that. Where we all like you literally stayed outside all day till it got nighttime. Right. Like I'm like, our parents like did not really worry about us. Like we would be halfway across the town
back then it was
at
neighborly.
The playground.
Yeah, it was neighborly back then.
I think back to I would never let my son.
Yeah.
But the world is different though.
Very different. I mean, we would be as far as 2 towns away.
Yep.
You know, as far as
Soul Shack.
At the Soul Shack, which is in Ardmore, which is the
Ardmore Avenue Community Center.
Right. Give them a shout out. Give them a shout out. Bryn Mawr. So there's Ardmore, Haverford, Bryn Mawr, and then Rosemont, and then here's Villanova.
Right. How many of you from Ardmore walk to Bryn Mawr to see your friends?
Me.
2 miles, right? How far is that?
And you know what? After school.
Yep.
It wasn't a big deal. We would cut through Haverford College. Yep. Hang out and make sure we were home before the lights went down.
50-year-old me is like, that was a long walk.
It was a long walk. Yeah. For a 50-year-old person, but listen, we put our sneakers on and we were out.
That was like nothing.
For the entire day.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Having a good time.
Yeah.
And we all played safe. So let's go back to just about when you were moving from home. And as far as I can recall, you ventured into modeling.
Right.
Right.
That was a total snafu because I was always like full-figured, and I never thought that I would be a model. Like, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be a model, but I never thought that it really would happen. Okay. I never thought anybody would pay me money to see me wear anything, and because I just felt like, oh, I'm too big, I'm fat, or whatever, it's not going to work. And I even had people tell me, oh, you'll never make it. You're not tall enough. You're not skinny enough. Yeah, like people close to me and stuff, but like, because you know, it wasn't anything that was happening at the time. You know, it wasn't really happening. Like I guess like the first Plus models came out like in the 80s, like the early 80s. So it wasn't like really, you know, popular. A lot of people to look at to say, you know. Okay. I was working in a salon, and Salt from Salt and Pepper owned a salon. So they had like a lot of nice like clients in the business and models and entertainers and whatnot. And a model came in there and she said, you know, we have plus size models at my agency. She was at Ford. Right. I was like, whatever. So she invited me to like a workshop or something. Right. So I came, and I have these dumb pictures that I had of like stupid like pictures I took of myself or like snapshots and I put in a book and I brought it. She was like,
if you were prepared.
Well, I wasn't, because she was like, this is not professional. This is not a real model portfolio. These are horrible. Like, you have to take pictures.
Wow.
So I was like, wow. So then I went to a modeling agent, and she was like, you know, you're beautiful and everything, but yeah, you got that gap in your teeth. Remember I used to have that gap in my teeth like Michael Strahan? I had that gap. If I was a fashion model size, no one would care, but because I was more a commercial person, it was too edgy, and so I had to wear braces. They wanted me to get like veneers or something, and I refused, so I wore the braces and whatnot. But then by the time I got the braces off, that lady was totally like not even in New York anymore. Like,
wow.
She didn't even have her business.
Wow.
So to cut a long story short, I got signed at Click, and I was just somebody that walked in off the street to just as like a, what do you call it, like an open call?
Right.
And the lady made me sit there for like 2 hours.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, I was so mad, like, how dare her make me sit here forever? And I'm just like sitting there like, for like, how long am I gonna sit here? And that lady ended up booking me a job, and she sent me on a casting. I'd never been on a casting. I went there and I got the job, and I was the only plus size model in that shoot. So I felt like, oh my God, I'm fat, and all these fashion girls, like, oh my God. But I'm like, well, should she? I didn't mean to curse.
It's okay.
I said, well, she has cellulite.
Right.
And her legs look more cellulite than mine. So as I was modeling, I just started realizing that everything is fake. It's an illusion, and women of all ages have loose skin, cellulite, whatever, you know, acne, scars, whatever.
Right.
And they're retouching it. They're, you know, doing all kinds of things that make you look better. They're fitting the clothes perfect to your body. It's all fake. So I just started feeling more confident with myself, because I was like, if she's a size 2 and has cellulite, what am I worried about?
Right.
You know? Right. And that was the one good thing I took out of it. I never really got rich or had like this amazing career, but like I was in Essence, I was in Ebony, I did a few commercial and catalog stuff and some fashion show stuff. And so it just cured my insecurity of thinking that nobody wanted to see somebody look like me.
Well, let me say this to you. You have always been admired by me and the rest of the crew back in Ardmore. So you must know that. And we're going to need to talk more about some of your other specialties, because you're well versed in so many different areas. And again, it's so good to have you. We're going to take a break.
Awesome.
And then we'll come on back.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Welcome back. I'm here with my good friend Shellie Biviens. I'm so, again, very excited to have her. We want to talk a little bit more about the beautification business. So I'm going to probe Shellie a little bit more to talk to me about how the beautification business functions. Okay, so explain to me what it takes to really make it in the beautification business.
I would definitely start by saying that you should know how to beautify. So learn how to do hair, learn how to do makeup. There's a big area for effects. I'm starting to see more and more people come in for special effects. Okay. So start there. And then after that, I would say the main thing is just following instructions. I mean, in order to work in New York, you have to be a part of a union, which is called Local 798. You can Google it and go on their website, and they'll tell you all the criteria to join. It's not easy, because you have to get hired on union shows, even though most union shows don't hire non-union. Okay. So I feel like it really is a test of your will to do something. Wow. A lot of people give up because they can't get the hours, and, you know. Okay. To me, I feel like it's just a matter of like not giving up and just keep talking to a lot of people. I feel like anything you do in this industry is all about networking and relationships, which people don't really realize that. Yeah, that networking piece is so important. Like earlier you said with your team, like how you met them and how you instantly like bonded and stuff. That's very important as far as like building teams or wanting somebody to be on your team. Right. because I find in my industry, people will just call you and say, oh, Shellie, can you come do this job? You know, it's some people that know you already, or somebody that doesn't know you is calling you because somebody you know was like, oh, hey, hire Shellie or whatever, you know? So it's all about relationships. And I would definitely just say, just to be personable and have a good personality, because you're dealing with all kinds of people, and actors can be very insecure sometimes, or
insecure about what? Like
I mean, they're on TV, so they could have like the smallest little thing on their face, and it could totally bother them, and they might want you to style their hair in a certain way to hide it. I mean, I feel like you are like almost like a therapist in a way.
Okay.
Hair and makeup is like the kitchen of the production. So you get the actors when they first come in.
Right.
So like they could come in an attitude, they could come in, you know, high, they could come in, you know, you never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
I've seen people come in totally drunk.
Okay, wow.
That's our job, to like get them camera ready and whatever we got to do. You want some coffee?
Right.
You know, that's I kind of feel like they come there and it's part of their process to go through hair, makeup, and become something else when they get out there. You sign all kind of confidentiality agreements, so you have to learn how to mind your business and not share information and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just common sense things, and you don't have to be the best at what you're doing, but you have to be willing to learn. I've seen a lot of people that just, you can't teach them anything.
Wow.
They know everything already, and I feel like how we do things in this industry is just different than in the real world. It's kind of like an illusion, and like you have to, everything doesn't move in the same time.
Okay.
You know, so I just find like the way people do things in the regular world, it's just different here. It's a wonderland of like illusion.
Okay.
And I just feel like people have to accept that, and it's not about you, it's about the team and putting together somebody's vision of how they see a character. It's not about what I think looks good, and I don't get offended when the director, the producer says, we don't like that.
Okay.
We hate that, Shellie. Okay, we'll go back. I got it. We'll fix it, and we have 2 minutes to fix it, guys. Let's go. You know. So yeah. But some people get really terribly offended. I just know that it's like buying shoes. Like, girl, those shoes is ugly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And somebody else say, those are great. Oh my God, you hate that? And then you have like the shoes debate, and somebody's gonna win over if that shoe is pretty or ugly. You know what I mean? That's how it is, and people just have to just accept that. And I find that a lot of times people are very sensitive about their work, because that's how artists are.
Right.
But to be in this business, you kind of have to be open-minded and kind of be thick-skinned. Okay. And be able to work on a team.
Well, now let me ask you about the specific timeline. When you go in as a cosmetologist, at what point do you start, if you haven't mentioned this already, at what point do you start during the production applying makeup, doing hair? Like, do you immediately start at the beginning, or is there a specific point?
What do you mean as far as like on any given day on set, or?
On any given day on set, is it usually, let me see, maybe that's not the right question to ask.
I mean, from what I'm gathering, like I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like for us, like we're there early, hair and makeup is there first before everybody. You know?
Okay, I'm just trying to visualize it, because for me, I'm applying my makeup before the show even begins.
Right, exactly.
I'm not a cosmetologist.
So hair and makeup usually has like a 2-hour pre-call.
Okay.
So if everyone else is there at 6:30, we're there like 4:30.
Wow.
So we're there very early in the morning. So we get like cranky people in the morning.
Wow, yeah.
Some actors, you know, okay, such and such is coming. You go have coffee, girl. You know, because she crazy without her coffee. You know, so, you know, we just, you know, we have to set the mood. And if the actors have some crazy experience in hair and makeup, it really can mess up their whole day.
Okay.
Like, if they don't like their hair or their makeup, it can really make them insecure throughout the day. So it's really important what we do for them.
So do they, I guess the producer or director would decide on their hairstyle depending on the
It varies
scene?
because sometimes the writers have an idea of what they want to see. Sometimes it's a producer, sometimes it's a director.
Right.
Sometimes it's the actor, depending on how A-list they are. They say what they want and they get it. So it varies.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the difference between clients in the salon and clients in the film industry.
The clients in the salon appreciate you more. I mean, most of the actors are lovely, but some of them, you know, can be that stereotypical, you know, I don't even know, I'm not gonna say, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Whatever stereotypical actor you know. But I'm kind of losing my train of thought.
Okay.
But what was I saying?
Well, just in terms of the difference between your hair salon clientele as opposed to film and television.
Hair salon clients, they trust you. This is the main difference.
Okay.
They trust you, they come to you. They might say like what they want to look like, whatever, but they kind of like trust your expertise.
Okay.
Because they know that they really don't know and they kind of trust your expertise.
Right.
In film, they don't trust you. They want to see everything. Like 15 people have to approve it first. Like I can't just put somebody on set with something new. Like it has to be approved, and we're sitting there waiting. Like I wonder if they're gonna like it. You know?
Oh wow!
So that's the difference. When you do somebody in a salon, you know, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna like it and they're gonna leave. With us, you know, we have camera tests before we start any project to try different hairstyles, try different clothes, try different things, and it take a couple days of that before we settle on a look. Yeah.
So there have been incidences where you've had to reapply makeup because it wasn't quite right.
Right, or like one experience, we bought like a wig for thousands of dollars because they wanted to see somebody with short hair, and we got the wig and they said we hate that.
Wow.
And we want her hair back the way it was. So they're willing to spend the money just to see, like, you know. And I'm like, I don't think it's gonna look good, but we just want to see it. We don't care, we'll pay. We just want to see, and then they'll either like it or don't like it, and you know, you box the wig up and put it away, and
for another time,
or never again. You know.
Wow.
They might just really not want it. You know?
Okay.
So that's the only difference, is that you're taking direction from a large group of people most of the time, and they, you know, it's not really what I want. They tell me what they want to see, and I put together what they are asking for. And I feel like a lot of the times, even the actors, no matter how seasoned they are, they don't realize that. Like, I'm not telling you this because I want you to have it. You know, they requested that to see this. You know.
Okay.
Whereas in the salon, they sit there and, you know, they pretty much trust what you're saying and let you do what you want to do. Oh, girl, there's this new color technique. Well, let me try it on you. Oh, girl, I think you look good with this hairstyle. Let me try it on you. Like, your clients are like very open.
Right.
Them, you can't really change them because a lot of people have like a signature look, the actors, and you can't like really alter them. I remember hearing a story where a guy like cut an actor's hair and changed the hair color like right in the middle of a show.
Wow.
And like, it was awful. Like, they lost their minds because the character doesn't look the same anymore.
Jeez.
So yeah, I've seen stuff like that a lot of times. I had one producer tell me, they're like cartoon characters, we don't want to see them change. And some people got offended by that, but I understood what she meant, because if you see the character 3 episodes down the line with a blonde and they were red before, you wouldn't even maybe not know who they were. Right. So that's the only difference. Okay. But I kind of miss the salon people because, you know, they're just regular people. They're so appreciative and they're grateful. And the stories that they tell me, I just love the stories of the people when they sit in your chair. Now, that's the one thing that doesn't change. Okay. Is that you're still going to be somebody's therapist. You're somebody's, like, you know, whipping board, or somebody wants to vent to you. Like, they really don't want to really care about you. You're kind of just like, okay, yeah. You're just like guiding their conversation to keep talking about themselves. Or just being the sounding board, you know, just listening the whole time. Okay, the life of a freelancer is not for everyone, right? It's not for most people. Okay. Because you don't have a job, and it's like every time you get a job, you have to go find a new job. You know, like a movie, what does it last, 2 or 3 months, 4 months? You know, episodic, it used to last 8 months for 22 episodes. Now with streaming, everything is like 6 episodes, 13 episodes. So it's changing. Okay.
And tell us, what are some of the television shows, movies that you've actually worked on?
Okay. I'll probably tell you like the people that I worked with that stood out the most to me. Some of them are not as famous as others, but like one of the people that I worked with that I felt like I was like, oh my God, was Vanessa Williams.
Wow.
I worked on a show called The Good Wife, and I was Christine Baranski's hairstylist for 3 seasons, and Vanessa Williams came in, I guess, in the last season. So that was pretty exciting because like I've, you know, all Black people know Vanessa Williams, and we know her whole career, and we've seen all her movies, and she's just an iconic person, and she was so awesome. I just really loved her. She
seems like a very pleasant person to work with, but you just never know.
She's so great.
Right.
And I don't want to tell her business like that, but she's just like one of the realest people that I've ever seen that was of that level, that she's just like normal. Like she just was just a regular person. And she taught me a lot about like being a mom and working. So my son was young and I used to feel guilty about being gone. And she was like, well, I've always had a career. I always had kids. And so she just taught me things like, you know, she would always wake her daughter up for school, like, and you know, just things like that. She would never forget to call her. So I just started like emulating that, and I felt like it helped me like just balance the life, because I just felt like it was like the hours are very long.
I was just about to ask you, it's a busy lifestyle.
I used to feel very, you know, sad and guilty, like, because, you know, we start at 5:30 in the morning and it's a 14-hour day every day. That's another thing. If you don't like to work and you're lazy and you don't like to work long hours, don't come into this industry in any capacity. Even what you're doing is a lot of time. When you leave here, you're going to go home and do more work for this.
Absolutely.
Like every day.
Absolutely. Yes.
I have to say that Karen was telling me when she first started, she used to come here on her lunch break.
Absolutely.
And then come back after work. So that's what it takes. And so if you don't want to put the hard work in, and you have to constantly keep learning new things and keeping your talents up, because it's very competitive. And I would just say you're not going to make it if it's not a passion. You're just not. You're not, because it's too much of your soul and your blood, sweat, and tears to make it. So if you're not like really 100% committed, you're just not going to make it. And a lot of people don't understand freelancing because, like I said, when one job is over, you have to get another one. So how that happens is being good, having a good personality, being able to work on a team, and just being a person that is well-rounded and can blend with all people and have conversations with all walks of life. Because another person that I worked with that I thought was like so awesome was Method Man.
Wow.
On a show called The Breaks, and I just felt like I see why he's so relevant still today, because his work ethic and just how he was on set was just awesome. He was, you know. So who else have I worked with? Oh, I loved All My Children. So all of y'all gonna know Debbie Morgan and Darnell Williams, Angie and Jesse.
Wow.
So I loved working on All My Children because I got to work with Susan Lucci, Debbie Morgan and Darnell Williams, and just that was like a really highlight of my career. And they were like family, and I just loved that job. And I probably would have still be working there if it didn't get canceled. And people are shocked at that because it was a soap, and you know, everybody wants to do films and everything. But I just thought that they were like a family, and they were just like really great people. Susan Lucci was very nice. I worked with her sometimes after that, and she was just really lovely. She's a Capricorn like me, yes. You know, she was the bomb. And all in all, it's been a great career. I love them all, but I have to say the period hairstyling and the vintage hair stuff, I love that. The 1960s and the 40s and the 50s.
That's another topic I wanted to talk about. But before we talk about that, because you're so well-versed, Shellie, you're a producer, you're a cosmetologist, I'm a recording artist, and a songwriter. And so I want to show a clip of you collaborating with a friend of ours.
That's right.
Okay.
Philly's finest.
And what is his name? Fred Howard.
Fred Rock. Fred Rock.
So we'll be back, right? We'll
Yes.
be back and we'll talk more about the clip, and hopefully at some point have Fred Rock on.
Hey, Fred.
On the show.
What's good?
We're gonna need you. Okay. We'll be back.
Do you really have to be the one to do this?
You know what it is. You know I gotta do it.
So, my darling, I Love You is a new project that you are collaborating on with Fred Rock and Geronimo Bay.
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
Fred Rock is a childhood friend of ours.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to Fred Rock, Fred Howard, yes. He is a percussionist and like just all-around musician. I don't know how many instruments Fred plays actually, but on this job, he did percussion, he did bass. Like I can't even tell you all the stuff Fred did. He's a genius. Geronimo Bay is a known cinematographer in New York. He's shot a lot of videos. He shot Cardi B, Busta Rhymes, and Method Man, and now Shellie B.
Hey.
So this video project started from a song that I wrote like many years ago. My friend Tony Bronson, he was murdered, mistaken identity, and I wrote this song about that. And after he passed away, I always kind of felt like he was with me, and he had like this funny personality, and I just always felt it with me at times. And when I wrote this song, I didn't want it to be a sad song about somebody that passed away. I wanted it to be like an inspiring song to make people feel, you know, that the person's gone. Yes, you're gonna feel sad, but you know, they're with you, and you know, it makes them sad to see you sad, and you know, I wanted it to be like a triumphant feeling for the video and the song. Like I said, we just wrapped on the video. We're working on our credits, and it's not even really a video. It's more like a mini movie.
Nice.
Like it's a lot of surprises. I don't want to like spoil it, but the reason why how we came up for the concept for the video, and I can't really say we too much because this was pretty much Geronimo Bay's, you know, vision, and I went with it. And in the beginning, I was kind of like, I don't know, because he makes like war type movies, very like post-apocalyptic type of work, and very tactical type of things. And he was like, well, how about we make you have a love interest and he's a soldier and he dies.
Wow.
But he dies rescuing some missing children.
Wow.
Because he knew how passionate I was about the missing children. I don't know if you all know this, but 8 million children go missing every year in the world.
Yeah.
I thought that number was, that's an unbelievable number. 8 million children, where do they go? How does that happen? 800,000 go missing in America alone.
Right.
65,000 are brown. Okay? Where are these kids? Why doesn't anybody care about these kids?
And what are we doing about it?
Exactly.
What are we doing about it?
What are we doing about it is what made me research. Is like, does anybody look for these kids? Like, what happens to these kids? And I discovered that there are people that risk their lives to go and find these kids.
Right.
So in my story, my love interest, my hero, Lauren Tipsy Lewis, thank you so much for starring in this for me. He was amazing.
Wow.
And he and his team, you know, he goes to rescue some kids, and I don't want to give it away.
Right.
But this is very like close to my heart.
Yeah.
Because every 40 seconds a kid goes missing, and I can't imagine a parent knowing that their kid is gone. And God bless the people that go look for these kids, because it's not many. When I researched it, I found a few. And I don't really know how much our government looks for these kids, because it's not like in the media. Like, I feel like it's such an alarming thing. Like, I feel like everybody should be talking about it.
It is alarming. It is more of us should be talking about it. More of us should be searching. A friend of mine, she is actually on a team that supports these efforts. I'll be inviting her to join me on another show later on in the year.
Well, I would love to come see that.
Yeah, I would love to have you. But it's disconcerting. It really is that we have no idea where these children are.
8 million kids.
That's a bit much.
Every 40 seconds. There's more of a chance your child will be taken than anything else. For every 40 seconds?
And that's one of the things I had mentioned to my daughter. You know, I was never aggressive with her in terms of always needing to know where she was at every given second. But what I did tell her was that I was more concerned about the people that don't know you, strangers, or even people that you know that I don't fully trust, as opposed to being uncertain about you knowing better, being assured of whether you're in a safe environment or not, because I knew that she had the wherewithal to know better, you know.
Agree.
Yeah. So I would love to turn the tables a little bit because we have a young king here today. His name is Shiloh. As I said earlier, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you once again for coming. So tell me, how old are you?
I am 10 years old.
You're 10 years old. What are some of your favorite things to do?
Well, my favorite things to do is play Fortnite a lot.
A lot of Fortnite. A whole lot of Fortnite.
Okay.
I like to create like projects, mostly stuff out of cardboard or paper.
Okay.
Anything that comes like to my mind.
Okay. All right. Everyone here, the New York slang, you know, this. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Well, I like school a lot.
What's your favorite subject?
Well, only thing I'm good at is math.
Okay. Very good. You could be an engineer one day. You never know.
Well, you do engineering. Did you tell her about your Lego
What?
STEM?
Yeah, I build a lot of Legos at home.
Really?
And he was in a robotic program, Robo Mind Tech in New York. And,
Wow.
for many, many years.
Okay.
And they build robots and they build all kind of like moving. What are they, Shiloh?
Anything like I don't know how to explain
It's
it,
robotics.
but
Okay.
robotics, engineering.
Wow.
You build stuff out of Legos and like you can use like gears and other stuff.
Now,
and they programmed them.
Yeah, well, now let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought that one of your models could potentially be in a movie?
Oh, John, that could be.
Had you ever thought about that? It could be like a prototype, a model. Like Godzilla. Have you ever seen the movie Godzilla?
Yes.
Right? That's a possibility. You never know. So if it's something that you find interesting, keep doing it. You know? Let's talk about you being the son of a mother who has a busy schedule. She loves what she does, but she's also very compassionate about her relationship with her son. What is it like to be a son of a busy mom who works in the industry?
Well, it's like to be a busy son
Mm-hmm.
in the industry is like, well, basically, it's like when you have like a babysitter, it's like, it feels like different
Mm-hmm.
when the parent who raised you all their life
Mm-hmm.
has to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just feel like scared when your babysitter's around, cause you don't know like what babysitter is gonna do or all this stuff.
Okay.
So it feels like pretty weird
Okay.
and like somebody you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, on the first day when I had my first babysitter,
Mm-hmm.
I got scared because I never had a babysitter in my life,
Right.
except when I was a baby.
Okay.
But when I got more older,
Mm-hmm.
I realized that parents and moms and dads, they just gotta go out and do what they gotta do.
Right.
And I have to say, Karen, that he is like my best friend, my assistant, my everything.
That's very apparent.
I am like such a scatterbrain, and he's like, Mom, you got your phone. Oh, Mom, here's this, here's that.
Wow.
I mean, he's amazing, and we talk on the phone. We make up for time on the weekends, and we do a lot. And I did always feel kind of guilty
Mm-hmm.
working,
Mm-hmm.
but like we have to work. And one of my friends is a very prominent lawyer in the city, and when he was really small, I used to feel so guilty, and she used to be like, girl, they need to see you go to work.
Absolutely.
They need to see you go to work.
Oh, yeah.
You don't, I mean, you could be an at-home mom or whatever, but that wouldn't be fulfilling for you, and it's not probably going to do much for him to not see you work on something and be passionate about something. And I kind of felt a little bit better, and I learned to balance it. The one good thing about working in this industry is that you might work for 2 months and then you're off for 2 months, and then what do we do in my off time? Hit the road, right?
Yeah.
Go on trips.
So where did you travel to while you were on sabbatical,
some of the
so to
places
speak?
we've been, babe?
Well, we mostly be like
Hold your mic up, baby.
going to like Camelback.
Nice.
Well, the first ever road trip that we went was Massachusetts.
Okay.
And we just kept going to Massachusetts, but we got tired of it. So for a little bit.
I like the country and, you know, the outdoors.
So we decided to go to Camelback. We go there for like a couple of times, but we got tired of that too.
We'll go skiing.
Yeah.
We used to really like cruising until COVID.
Okay.
So now, like, we'll probably like never take another cruise.
Okay.
We took several cruises. We've been in a lot of places. We just came back. The last break that I had, we went to Orlando.
Nice.
And Universal Studios, which was a fortune, a
Okay.
tourist trap.
Yeah, it is. I took
the
Asia when
child
she
loved
was
it.
12. Yeah.
But the Harry
it was
Potter
adventure.
thing was amazing. Like,
Okay.
I felt like I was 5 years old
Yeah.
again. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
But he is Shiloh's also in the video. He was on set for pretty much every part of it.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Shiloh
Yeah.
is part of the camera department.
Really?
Shiloh's he's a production assistant.
Is that right?
What else do you do, Shiloh? He acted in it. What else you be doing?
Well, I had to stay in disgusting places. I didn't
This video is kind of grimy as far as like some of the locations that the
Okay.
soldiers were in and stuff, and they were like dirty and dusty
Okay.
and scary and stuff.
Okay.
So I was really proud of the kids that starred in it because they were like super brave and they were
Right.
so professional. They did a great job.
Like one part is like where we had to like go in this like little room, and it was like so dirty, but in the room there's like a small bathroom connected, and there was just something wrong with the bathroom.
Okay.
It just looks so disgusting.
Yeah, that location was pretty gnarly, but
Okay.
I think Geronimo Bay got like, you know, he wanted that authenticity, and
Absolutely.
he surely got it.
Yeah.
Where we shot, it looks really, really good.
What are some of the other sets that Shiloh have been
What other shows have you been
on?
on?
Well, I think I only went on 2 sets, but the first set I ever went on was
He's been, but he probably was too young to remember.
Okay.
Gotham.
Okay.
Gotham was the first set I think I went on.
Was that your
And
favorite?
Not
He
quite.
didn't really
Okay.
like Gotham because
Okay.
the Gotham set is like scary, and you know how
Okay.
Gotham City it's dark, and he didn't like it. It looks really real, and everything's like really big. And
Right.
it was dark, and he
Yeah.
was kind of scared of it.
Yeah.
I was when I was little.
Where else? What else did you come?
I went also on Blind Spot. Blind Spot was
shout out Blind Spot. I did 2 seasons of Blind Spot.
Nice.
Blind Spot was good. There's also was another one I forgot, but that was a job I think you only worked on for like a week or so.
I don't remember, baby. It all runs together.
Okay. Okay. So now this is what I want to ask you finally, okay? And then I'll talk to your mom a little bit more. Can you give some advice for a young man or woman, boy or girl, who has a mother or a father that works within the industry? What kind of advice would you give to them in terms of how to manage their relationship with their parent? What does it feel like to be on set?
Well, first things first, I think just because your parent is like just like leaving to just go to work, it's like, I know it's hard at times, but sometimes you just gotta know that you gotta do what you need to do, because it's like a crazy world out here.
Oh,
And
wow.
the second thing is how it feels like to be in an industry. It feels pretty good, and like if you're new to the industry, you get to meet like lots of cool celebrities and people that you see on TV. But
Is
you
there
get
anybody
to
that
see
you
them.
met that you liked that?
Yes, well, I met Thor's sister. Well, not actually Thor's sister. Thor's sister who plays in the Marvel comics and in Thor the movie.
He's talking about
That's amazing.
Jamie Alexander.
Okay.
She plays Lady Sif in the Marvel
Wow.
Thor.
Wow.
And I did a show with her for 2
MCU.
seasons.
Nice.
And she's been very lovely. Thank you, Jamie Alexander. Shout out.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm not as nervous as I was earlier on today.
We all did so good. And
I agree.
we were
I was
all
so
nervous.
nervous.
We did good.
Shellie, you're going to have to come back and join me again. Are you up for that? You think you want to come back and join me again?
Sure.
Excellent. I appreciate you.
Thank
Charlie,
you.
you said you wanted to do a show. Tell Miss Karen what you wanted your show to be about.
Well, I wanted my show to be about, like, it's basically like a lot, like gaming, Legos, but mostly gaming.
Okay.
I want it to be a gamer because I was never a gamer, but there's this guy on YouTube called Typical Gamer, and I watched his videos so many times. He like inspired me to like be a gamer when I grow up and make videos about it.
He
Very
also
good.
started wanting to learn about stop motion. Is it stop motion photography or whatever, where you take the pictures and they move and stuff? So he's been kind of
Okay.
working on that too.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate your time.
Awesome, you did a good job.
Very good. Thank you very much. We are actually going to talk a little bit more with Shellie. I would love to learn more about the industry in terms of supporting and promoting each other
Gotcha.
as freelancers
Love
and the avenue of success,
Right.
whatever success
Right,
means
right.
to you.
Okay.
Okay. Briefly talk about that. Briefly talk about transitioning after COVID. And that's a huge thing. And vaccine mandates. And what the future holds in the industry. That's a
Okay.
lot. But just
we
touch a
gonna
little bit
sum
on it. Okay. Yeah, sum that up for me.
Okay, what's the first thing? Tell me
The first thing is freelancing success, how to support each other's efforts.
Okay, we talked on the phone before, and we were talking about like the whole reason why you want to do the show, and you can maybe explain it better than me.
Sure.
Really fast, like
Okay.
why you did the show.
Why I began the show. I initially started working on multiple shows at one time, and I basically formed a habit because I had a fear of public speaking. So this was my method to try to get more comfortable, you know, and I just love media.
And I felt like you said to me, like, you wanted it to be like a networking thing for people.
Absolutely.
And I feel like for any of us to be successful, it takes a team. And your team is fabulous, by the
Thank
way.
you.
They are
Thank you.
great, and they're very
Thank you,
professional, and they're
Shellie.
lovely. And it's all about the team, the networking, and the relationships. The relationships is everything if you're going to make it in this business. You have to be able to maintain relationships.
Okay.
You can't just be like, oh, you know, you can't neglect any of the people that are on your team and
Okay.
that, you know, that you admire or that you appreciate their work. And if you have a team, you treat them lovely. And I like the way you guys work together, and everybody seems like they know each
I'm
other's
very
mind.
grateful. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It runs very
Yeah.
smooth, and when you
Yeah.
have those positive vibes and you have a great team, you're going to create amazing things.
Absolutely. Agreed.
As far as like the future and how film and television changed since COVID, and like we talked about this, like I definitely feel like COVID like strangled the industry and like stole a lot of like the freedom and creativity out of it, and the vibes are not really the same on a mandated set. And, since the vaccine mandates, it's been kind of like difficult. But I just want to say that now is the time for the independent production. So stuff like this, you know, all kinds of streaming. Like I feel like now the major companies kind of like shot themselves in the foot.
Right.
And now it's going to be the time for indie. So everybody support all these projects because,
absolutely,
you know, a lot of us are being shut out of the industry if we don't want to take the vaccine. So, you know, you guys just be mindful of that and support each other. That's the point.
And that's what we're here for today.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm going to tell you that so many times more. I just need you to know that I enjoyed you today.
Oh, likewise.
Would you come back and join me again?
I will totally be back. I will be back like anytime you want me to come back.
Excellent.
I'll be back.
Yeah. And I would love to have some of our childhood friends to come and join us as well.
We should have like a reunion. Like
that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. I want to thank you all for joining us today on Diamond in the Rough. You have a peaceful and safe day.